Hey, this is Bryce Harper, and welcome to the Philly Show.
Ruben Amaro Jr., Jim Salisbury, Todd Zalecki. Hey, everybody, it's the Philly Show. It's Wednesday, July 23rd, 2025. How are we feeling, guys?
Excellent.
A little bit better than I was feeling after the Angel series.
Yeah, the Phillies, we talked about this the other day. The Phillies had lost 3 straight series. Well, now they've won a series. Now they won it. They won the first 2 games against the Red Sox. First series win since they took 2 or 3 from the Reds over 4th of July weekend. So beat the Red Sox on Tuesday night 4-1. Chris Sanchez, pretty good. A lot of craziness in this series. Walk-off catcher's interference. Steal of home / catcher's interference. / balk in the first inning on Tuesday. So a lot of great stuff. We're going to talk about Cristopher Sánchez. We're going to talk about those catchers' interference. We're going to talk about Gage Wood, the Phillies' first-round draft pick signing. He was at the ballpark on Tuesday. Maybe talk a little bit about some of the comments that Dave Dombrowski made on Monday about David Robertson and the bullpen and the lineup and all sorts of things. But let's start with Cristopher Sánchez.
Can we start with talk about your weave right now? Your weave is so nice and tight and high.
How about look
that
at
is
me?
Delicious. It is.
Look at me.
Just
you know what?
spectacular. This early in the morning.
If you're not watching on YouTube, really, you should be.
You really should be. Look at just to see his moss. It's tremendous. Anyway, I just wanted to say that. I had to give you some love.
Thank you. If you watch us on YouTube, but I am wearing a hat, it means it's just a disaster. So we like to get up early and record these podcasts, as you guys know. So we like to get it out early so you can listen to it on the way to work or on your morning run or bike ride or whatever. So thanks, Ruben. I appreciate that.
Nice moss.
Got my chest out a little bit. So let's talk Chris Sanchez with the Parks first pitch. First pitch is brought to us exclusively by our partners at Parks Casino, Pennsylvania's #1 casino. Cristopher Sánchez last night, 3rd complete game of his career. 4 hits, 1 run allowed, no walks, 12 strikeouts. The guy should have been an NL All-Star. We talked about that last week. But, man, I'm telling you what, I'm looking at the numbers last night as I'm writing the story. I'm going, this guy is going to get some, as Jim predicted, in late March.
Love it.
Jim specifically said, Ruben, top 3 Cy Young finish.
And he may very well today, right after Skeens and Wheeler.
He might be
in there.
He is now
a true candidate.
No question. According to Baseball Reference, he's number 2 in the majors in pitching WAR behind Skeens and ahead of Wheeler. He's number 2 with a 5.2 WAR.
Really?
That was. I mean, if I know Ruben loves WAR, but he's. He's a little lower in Fangraphs, but
Fangraphs, he is Jim. Fangraphs, he is 5th in baseball, 5th behind Skubal, Crochet, Skeens, and Wheeler. But he's right there.
Baseball Reference, he's number 2 at 5.2. So
yeah,
I don't know, split the difference. It's an awesome run this young man is on. Power sinker, great changeup, racking up tons of Ks. Last 6 starts, I wrote down some numbers. Last 6 starts, he's averaged 7 innings. Awesome. He's got a 1.22 ERA. How about this? 46 strikeouts, 4 walks.
Wow. 4 walks. That's Cliff Lee plus. Really, when you think about it, it's like plus Cliff Lee or Roy Halladay plus.
Yeah.
It's bigger stuff than both those guys.
It's great.
Yeah. I mean, he's been so go ahead.
I've been so impressed by just his overall development. I've said it many, many times. I'll say it again. from where he was to where he is. When he came to the big leagues, and they made a trade, Matt Klentak made a nice trade. Traded that bat, Curtis. Is it Curtis?
Curtis Mead, yeah.
Curtis Mead, right-handed bat. He got into the big leagues for a little while. I'm not even sure if he's there anymore. I haven't really been paying too much attention to Tampa Bay, but I'll tell you, this guy from where he started was, as far as his overall ability to locate his pitches, all of his pitches, to where he is today is one of the greatest developments I've ever seen. That's how good it is. Because for me, I just love the character, the heart, the desire, all the things that are associated with becoming a great player. He has all those things. He cares. He wants to learn. He wants to get better. And he competes, man. I love the way he competes on the mound, all the ingredients. And for them to sign him and have the intelligence and the forethought and foresight to be able to sign this guy at $22.5 million for 4 years with 2 club options,
affordable club options
numbers. This guy if he were out on this open market in 2 years from now or 3 years from now, the man would make $40 million a year.
I think that club-friendly deal, which was proposed by his agent, the kid wanted some security, and it's helped him relax and realize his potential. So you can say, oh, it's a really club-friendly deal. They left money on the table. Who knew he was going to be this? But maybe he knew he was going to be this. Very dedicated young man. He must be very coachable. He's learned a lot, picked up a lot from teammates in the rotation, Cotham and his group, coming along with that changeup and that location and that command and that control. Because when I first saw him, I thought he was a big arm rock thrower, and he's become like a great pitcher. That was really an electric performance last night, but a series of them this year and last year. Tons of fun to watch.
I don't want to get I don't want him to get too personal, but he's done a bunch of things nutrition wise. I believe his wife is a nutritionist.
Yeah, dedicated.
And there was a lot of talk last year. He had like a 5 ERA on the road. She travels on the road with him now. I think she prepares a lot of his meals. There's a lot of things going on that he's done personally to make himself better, whether it's nutrition, health. He came in the spring training, built like a brick S house. And, there was a question about whether he can sustain this in the second half. He didn't have a couple of great 2 years in a row. He didn't have a really strong second half. I think he's put himself in a position to be one of the best, and it's coming to fruition, and I love it.
He's got 85 strikeouts on changeups, lead Major League Baseball. But the thing I've noticed is, and it makes sense, the growth of you can just see his confidence just escalating from year to year to year. And I just, based off of what our dealings with him a couple of years ago, you talked to him. He's very short, very kind of like unsure of himself. He's much more open talking to us now. He smiles a lot more. He jokes around a lot more. And how about that reaction he had last night in the 8th inning when he's
out there?
Yeah, when he struck out the guy that hit the bomb off. And why am I drawing a blank on his name? Anyway,
Reif Schneider.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Exactly. And he said, I asked him after the game, why are you so fired up? He said, well, he got me earlier, and then I got him twice. So I was fired up about that. It was great. He showed a ton of emotion. It was awesome.
97 with sink and that changeup. It's just a great, devastating package. And you just think about October with him and Wheeler coming at you 1-2. That's a great place to start.
And that's why a lot of
there's not a better 1-2 in the game. There's not.
That's it. Yeah, and especially Jim, you started by talking about like where guys ranked in WAR and in Major League Baseball. They're the only team with like 2 guys in the top 5 or 6 in WAR. So they are the best on paper right now, and pitching performance wise, the best 1-2 combo in baseball. And that's why a lot of people have said like, well, well, maybe you move him into the bullpen because he throws so hard. And I'm like, I would,
Please.
no way, dude. Why would you want 2 innings of Chris Sanchez when you could have 8 innings of Chris Sanchez?
All the wannabe GMs.
Yeah,
well, it was
way.
fun to think about, 2 or 3 months ago, thinking
Right.
that, okay, if they go 6 deep in their rotation, and everybody's dealing, that stuff would really play. But with the year he's had and the years other guys have had, he is superior. Though they have an excellent starting rotation, he was superior, him and Wheeler, to everyone else. You need to come at him in game. You need to use him in game 2. So, hey, that was First Pitch, presented exclusively by our partners at Parx Casino, Pennsylvania's #1 casino. ParxCasino.com is the website. You must be 21. A gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Phillies fans, whether you're sliding into home or just chasing your kids around the yard, staying mobile matters. That's why we trust Rothman Orthopedics. From sports injuries to joint replacements, they keep you moving with top specialists who care for the best team and best fans in baseball. Rothman's got your back because at Rothman Orthopedics, your mobility is their mission. Visit RothmanOrtho.com to schedule today or scan that little QR code on your screen. And we will be right back.
Kratz, what do? I'm in a bind and I need to make some food at home. I would like it to be home cooked, but I don't want to deal with any of the grocery crap.
HelloFresh, get it done. And they'll start to know when you're in a bind and they'll figure it out for you, sending something new whenever you order it. It's freaking awesome.
Yeah, it is. And there are dozens of menu items to choose from each week. They can also help you out if you need a little assistance. They can kind of cater to what your needs are or what your preferences are. They'll do a little Q&A session for you, and then you can be the star at home. Kratz is a superstar dad at home for his HelloFresh expertise. And if you want to get involved, then you can make sure that your summer is more enjoyable and delicious at HelloFresh.com/FT10FM. Get 10 free meals with a free item for life when you do that. HelloFresh.com/FT10FM. 1 per box with an active subscription. Free meals are applied as a discount on the first box. New subscribers only. Varies by plan.
We're back. What did you guys think of the catcher's interference in Tuesday night's game with Bryce Harper?
I thought it sucked that he lost out on a steal at home.
I do too.
And I thought the umpire made a great call. Man, he was split.
He
second.
was on it.
As soon as that catcher's foot went into that, Marsh's batter's box there, he called it, and he called it right. Good for him. Good for Bryce. Hustle and play. Bryce, that's an instinctive play that shows where Bryce's game is right now. He's very, very confident, and that's a good thing for Bryce and the Phillies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great play. Obviously, the right-hander, this Richard Fitz, he's one of those guys that's just really long to the plate. He was well off. The third baseman was well off the line. You're right about the whole Bryce Harper thing, Jim. Like when he's feeling really good about his game, you can see he elevates his base running. He's getting extra bases. He's trying to do things. He's feeling healthy. He's feeling good about his at bats and his overall game. And if he's not going good, I don't know that he looks to do that. I don't think that that's in his DNA necessarily, but it is in his DNA when he's feeling good about himself and he's in the space that he's in right now. And boy, is that important.
It's like a golf swing, Ruben. I'm serious. When you're playing good, your swing is aggressive and you threw the ball. When you're not playing good, a little more tentative. And he was aggressive and threw the ball. And he that was like Jackie Robinson-esque. That was exciting.
Bryce wasn't sure, but he thought that might have been his second only straight steal of home in his career. Do you remember the first?
Was it against the Titans?
Yes, Cole Hamels game.
Yeah.
Fake
Remember
tough
that one?
game. Yeah.
Fake tough.
The
Mike
fake tough
Rizzo
game.
came out, called Cole fake tough. Ruben?
Mike Rizzo.
Yeah, I love that. I love that whole exchange because my left-handed pitcher got suspended after that.
He did. And I don't know if I think we might have mentioned this when we had Cole on the show last year as a little aside, but we go down in the clubhouse after the game. Jim, you were there, right?
Yep.
And we go, so Cole, did you throw at him on purpose?
I did.
99, yes, 99 times out of 100, every pitcher will lie through their freaking teeth and say, "What? No. The fastball just got away from me. Haven't hit a guy all year, but I would no, absolutely." He goes, "Yes, I did drill him in the back on purpose." We're like, "What?"
Yeah, and
So
Jim and I got into a foot race back to our laptops to write the story.
I pulled a hammy.
I literally started. I got on the phone when I saw the quotes and got on the phone with his agent, and I started ripping him a new one. I'm like, "What is he doing?" And then, I didn't start ripping him a new one until the agent said to me, "Well, how come you're not backing him?" I go, "Backing him so I can get suspended?" I mean, my God, he needs a little bit more support. I mean, support. He just stuck his foot in his mouth, and I'm going to lose him for 12 games or 15 games or whatever the hell it was.
And it wasn't like we were Tom Cruising Jack Nicholson on the witness stand. We didn't exactly. Jim wasn't sitting there going, "Come on, you liar, you're set." He's like, "No, yeah, I know, yeah, I threw it up a bit."
Because that back then he had the propensity to say things that he probably would not want to say. And I guarantee you, 5 years later, as a major leaguer, he would not have done that.
Yeah, no.
And then remember Rizzo's quote about fake tough, and then all of a sudden, I think our next stop was Minnesota, right? And all of a sudden, Brian Schneider's walking around in the dugout in Minnesota with a T-shirt that says "fake tough" on it. And I'm like, "Can I take a picture of that?" He goes, "Yeah, but just don't use my face." So I had to focus on his torso.
That's funny, man.
But that was cool. It was just a fun baseball play. And you're right, Jim. The umpire Edwin Jimenez was right on it. It would have been a steal of home anyway. And then Ruben, you saw this last night, but Jim, you did not. Somebody shot Ruben a tweet last night and said, "I did what Bryce did to Fitz, only to you in high school, Ruben."
Did you see that?
Yes. You were pitching at Penn Charter as a freshman. I was on third for Bishop McDevitt. You went into a windup, and my coach said, "See what he's doing there? Steal home." And the guy said, his name is Paul Frio, says, "And I did on you." Do you remember this, Ruben? I thought it was.
I don't remember it. I don't remember pitching all that much. I was ambidextrous pitcher, but I don't think I did it as a freshman.
Okay.
I did it. I never pitched one game ever in high school in varsity. Maybe in JV.
Maybe JV then.
Maybe JV, because in the ninth grade, I only played in a few games with my brother. I didn't play very many games. I sort of got suited up a few times because back then their team was really good. And so I didn't play till my sophomore year, I don't think. But I hear that all the time. Listen, one time I was in spring training and some guy in the middle of the spring jumps up and says, it was hilarious. There was a break in the action. It was like the second inning, in between the second and third inning. And I was GMing at the time. And some guy gets up in the middle in Clearwater and says, "Hey, Ruben, I struck you out when you were a kid." I go, "Congratulations.
Join the club."
So funny.
Well,
funny.
What a huge, those are the things, I guess, if you're playing Little League and Legion Ball and, I guess back then.
You get your puff your chest out.
Sure, yeah. I mean, like the kid in high school that struck out Bryce Harper, when you think he's not telling that story?
Of course he is.
Yeah. A few years ago, I talked to a kid who hit a home run off of Andrew Painter in his first game his senior year. And I talked to him and he's like, and they have video of it, wherever he's like, "Dude, I show that video all the time to people. Like, that's my crowning achievement in high school baseball is I hit a home run off of the Andrew Painter my senior year of high school." So
it's funny.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. We're going to talk a little bit about the Phillies draft pick signing and Dave Dombrowski's comments, but the Phillies tonight, they have a chance to sweep, guys. Jesus Luzardo, not the Lizard King, Jim. He's not the Lizard King.
He is. He is the Lizard King. It says it on Baseball Reference. I'm taking it to the bank. Tim Kelly unearthed that scoop.
TK. So Jesus Luzardo is facing Lucas Giolito tonight. So what's the game? Is that 7:05? 7:05 start.
It's a little
later. ESPN game. And if you can't get to the ballpark tonight, I'm sure it's a sellout. You can head over to Parx Casino, or from the comfort of your own living room, you can maybe follow the action on TV and then maybe have a little action on your phone. Right, Ruben?
And you got to do it. And if you're going to do it, if there's going to be live betting on Philadelphia baseball for tonight's game, and it's better, way better on the BetPARX app. The BetPARX app, it's the one and only betting app I recommend and use for betting on sports and playing casino games for real money. Not only do they have, parlays and all types of different things to play, but you can also, like casino games, there's like, if you hit on this thing, there's Huff and More Puff. There's all types of things you can do. You can touch on this and go to sports and go to the games, the actual game, and actually see what you can bet on. There's so many different parlays and things to do. Put some skin into the game. It makes it really, really fun. BetPARX app, there's so many different things you can do. It's really, really super fun. You can bet, basically on any type of situation for any game, and you can do it right from the comfort of your own home. As Todd said, new casinos, the new users can get up to $1,000 cash back if you're down in your first 24 hours. See betparx.com for details. You got to be 21 in Pennsylvania, Jersey, Michigan, or Maryland. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. You love to play, you love to win. You bet Parx.
Gage Wood signed on Tuesday, the Phillies' first-round draft pick. Well, they also signed 16 other guys on Tuesday. All those guys were in town over the weekend. Guy is kind of jacked.
He is jacked.
Yeah. He's a strong-looking dude. I used to look like that once.
He is. He's built like a young Ricky Bottalico. Honestly, I covered Ricky's. When Ricky came to the big leagues in '94, he's built like a young Ricky Bottalico. About the same size, big fastball, and he's got some fire to his personality. Enjoyed talking to him. I watched that entire no-hitter he pitched in the College World Series.
Mm-hmm.
Very exciting. He was 98, 99 with a boom hammer, and he loses his perfect game when he flipped up a breaking ball, hit the guy in the foot, loses his perfect game in the 8th inning. So I asked him yesterday, "You still pissed about that, about hitting that guy?" He goes, "I think about it every day."
That's
took
great.
Words right out of my mouth as far as Ricky Bottalico is concerned, because he does have that sort of physique. It looks like he sort of has that mentality too, that bulldog type of mentality, which can bode well, especially when you're in, especially no doubt. And Brian Barber talked about this, about makeup and what it meant to pitch in Philadelphia as opposed to other places. Brian Barber, the scouting director, he talked about how important that is, and especially in Philadelphia. Now, there's a lot of talk about whether the guy can come up and pitch right away in this bullpen, if you get him ready and get him physically ready. Is it possible? It's not out of the realm of possibility, but you just can't put that kind of heat on the guy. You just don't know him well enough yet. You got to get him ramped back up. He only had 37 2/3 innings or something like that this year.
And he had a shoulder
He's got some shoulder issues, with power stuff, with the maximum effort type of a guy. You got to be careful. He's an important piece. He signed for a ton of money, and you got to take care of this kid. But you never know. If the guy's throwing well and you feel like he has the makeup, can you throw him in the back of a bullpen? It's possible. I don't think it's probable, and I don't think it's fair to the kid, and I don't think it's necessarily the right thing to do. But in this day and age, shoot, they're throwing everybody to the big leagues quick. So you never know.
I agree. It's unlikely and risky. I mean, you're trying to develop a guy for the long haul, but if he blows, he's going to pitch competitively at some point this summer, starting in Clearwater. If he's blowing people away, you never know. But if things go the way that they need to go for the Phillies at the trade deadline, and if Kirkering and Strom and David Robertson guys, continue to pitch well or step up, hopefully they're not going to need him.
Right.
I mean, they could go along the model of the Tampa Bay Rays, where they just keep firing guys up to the big leagues. If they blow out, who cares? They'll bring up the next guy. I mean,
I want to blow this kid out.
That's a model that some teams are doing because they don't have a lot of money to spend and capital to spend on the big league players. And so what they're doing is they're running them up to the big leagues. They're maximizing everything they throw, either their breaking ball or their fastball. They let them blow out physically. And I think players and teams are understanding this better now. So they backed this off a little bit, but that was what was happening in a lot of organizations. And I think it's, it's not good for baseball. Number one, it's not good for the player. And I think that they have to be a little bit more judicious when they make these decisions.
Yeah, you need to develop a pitcher, whether he's a starter, which I think he wants to be, or a bullpen guy. You need to develop a quality contributing major league pitcher. This pitching staff for the long haul. The staff's going to be in flux over the next few years, and you need to have that next generation ready to move in. And you can almost see their strategy in their draft this year. Their first 8 picks were pitchers. The first 6 were college pitchers, conceivably guys who could move quicker if everything goes well in the development process. Not everybody's going to get there, but you deepen your pool and you have more chance of guys, coming to the surface and making it to the big league. So I was impressed with the kid. I kind of liked his little swagger and his little bit of toughness, and I like his big fastball, and I like his hammer. 2 elite pitches, which make you think, maybe bullpen, maybe closer with that attitude. But he also throws he said a cutter and a split, and they're going to try to develop full 4-pitch repertoire and develop a starting pitcher, which I think is very smart because you can always transition to the bullpen down the road after you build some innings.
And for what it's worth, chatting real briefly yesterday with Preston Manningly, the Phillies GM, I asked him about maybe possibly joining the bullpen later this year, and his words were basically, he has those 2 pitches, meaning the fastball and the breaking ball. He's like, but we view him as a starter. So in other words,
smart.
there's no internal expectations. I think that we got to get this guy ready. He's got to come up and help us this year. They also not in their plans.
They also signed that 7th rounder.
Yes.
Matt Fisher. Really high ceiling high school kid from Indiana who was going to go to Indiana University, but they threw a lot of money at him, and he's in the system now. That's a nice get. That kid was projected to be like a top 50 pick, and he slid because of the college commitment. That's a nice get.
He got $1.25 million. The slot value there was $257,000. And then according to Jim Callis at MLB.com, that's a record for a 7th round pick signing bonus. Oh. So that's a huge number. So yeah, the Phillies were excited that they selected him and that he signed with them. So that's a guy definitely to kind of keep an eye on. What Dave Dombrowski talked on Monday following David Robertson being signed. He talked about plans for Robertson. He talked about going out and getting more bullpen help. He said, Alec Boehm's injury doesn't influence how we're looking at acquiring a bat or not. Talked a little bit about Justin Crawford and Andrew Painter. Anything jump out to you guys? I thought the most interesting thing to me was when he was asked about Justin Crawford, he basically said, we've thought about him a lot. We kind of need to see how things shake out up here in the big leagues before we figure out what to do with him, because when he comes up, he needs to play, which is obvious. You're not going to bring up Justin Crawford and have him play twice a week. But it sounds like, he could be in the mix
right after
depending on what happens before July 31st. If somebody gets released or somebody gets traded, maybe we see Justin Crawford the last 2 months of the season. Did you guys see, what'd you guys think?
It's kind of the vibe I got, that we might see him right after the deadline if he's still here, depending on who moves, who comes in and who leaves. And he's obviously hitting over 300. He gets on base a lot. He's a good looking player. So, and it sounded like they really value him. So we'll see. They lose Boehm. I got to tell you this. I heard a name in the clubhouse yesterday from a player, and that was Eugenio Suárez. So we know they need a bat. We know they need a bullpen guy, but there's some, it's at least floating around in guys' heads that Suárez is out there And we've talked about that in the past. It would necessitate probably Schwarber ending up in left field, but it's something to think about.
Tell you what, Ruben,
No doubt. I'd love it. I would love it. I think that there's got to be some protection for me. There's got to be some protection for Bryce Harper right now in that lineup, the way it's constituted.
And the way he's swinging, he's like crushing extra base hits. Imagine if he had real protection.
Yeah, I really feel like the right-handed bat is an important piece of it. And if they can't really nail down the back end of the bullpen guy and they only have one move to make, they may check off and go to that big bat and try to slug and hope that they score enough runs so that they give that sort of semi-shaky bullpen an opportunity to have a little leeway. So if they're in for a 2 or 3 run lead in the 8th or 9th, they got a better chance of winning the ball game rather than a 1-run lead. I would rather them get a lockdown closer. I just don't think that they're going to be able to get them. And if they can't, then go get a bat and try to slug a little bit and see what happens. But it's interesting, and I don't think there's any issue at all with them taking Schwarber to left field because Eugenio would end up being probably at the DH, Bohm at third. So it would be very interesting. I'll tell you that all the other thing about Crawford is I think he's either going to be in the big leagues on August 1st for the Phillies or in the big leagues with somebody else.
Agree.
and he sort of deserves it at this stage of the game.
Yeah.
If he doesn't get traded, I think he's going to be in the big leagues because I think when they say how things are going to play out, it's one, whether he's going to get traded or not.
Right.
But two, you have to continue to sort of assess where you're going to go with Max Kepler and Brandon Marsh. Neither one of them have been, particularly stellar. Brandon Marsh, obviously a little bit better lately, but, Kepler hits a home run yesterday and, can he get jump started? He walked once or twice, got on base, did some things. Can he get going? I don't know that. It's been a long time and he's been subpar. But I think a lot of it depends on those two guys, how they play in the next 2 weeks, because I think the assessment is if they don't really step forward, one of those guys are going to be off the club.
Yeah.
Ruben, you don't think they're going to get a closer? What do you think?
I just feel like if they don't, because the price on the closer is so big, Jim.
But how can they, without another big arm back there, how can they go where they want to go?
How can they compete?
How can they go where they want to go? We know where they want to go. How can you get there without somebody shutting down the last 3 or 4 outs?
I don't disagree. I guess maybe if they can't get them and the price is too big, they're going to have to mix and match with Robertson, Strom, Kirkring, Lazar, who stepped forward and pitched really well lately. You never know. Somebody needs to step forward. Last year or a couple years ago, they had Hoffman step forward. Maybe Lazar's like this version of Hoffman. I don't know. This year's version of Hoffman. Who knows?
Well,
you gotta hope. Then you're hoping instead of getting a lockdown, which is not ideal. But I do believe. I mean, I agree with you, Jim. But they may not want to pay the price of
what about
a guy like Duran.
Yeah. What about a secondary, like a guy at the next level down? I mean, I don't know what that would be. Say like a David Bednar or somebody who doesn't have that same juice as Bautista and Duran. Maybe somebody like that. Also, Dombrowski also left the door ajar on Monday for like Abel. Maybe even Painter. He said, you never say never. We've had no discussions about it. You never say never. He said that a couple times, but left the door. So maybe they go in that route and go get the big bat. I really think that they need to go out and get a big bat because I just feel like, and not only just for the take away the protection stuff for Harper, like that would be great, obviously, but I need to feel like somebody other than Schwarber and Harper in a big spot can hit the ball out of the ballpark. And it's just not happening with really anybody else in that lineup. The power numbers are way down. I mean, Castellanos right now, if you look at his numbers, is like a just above a league average hitter and, offensive hitter, performer. And, Bohm, same thing. Turner's not hitting home runs, which you don't really want.
Pop. They got no pop other than those two guys.
So
they
take
need both,
away,
though. They need both. They need the arm and the bat.
Exactly. Totally. That's what I'm saying
agree.
is, so if you can't get the Felix Bautista, maybe you get a next tier down guy. Maybe you go, okay, we're going to have Luzardo in the bullpen at some point. We're getting Alvarado back. Maybe we put Abel in there. Maybe Max
Abel
Cesar-
might be gone.
or he
I
might.
think.
True.
I'd be surprised, given your needs and given his ceiling, and it just seems like they would part with him. I'd be surprised if he's here.
I would think so too. I did talk to somebody who's pretty prominent in the organization, and they talked about Aiden Miller. And the person said he's the one guy I would not move, even above Painter. And the reason why I think he said is because he's so young. What is he, 19?
21, right?
Yeah, I think he's 20.
20?
Yeah, he might be.
Is he 20 or 21?
I think he's 21.
He's 21. He just turned 21 on June
Okay,
9th.
just turned 21, yeah. I mean, he's not that young, but it just feels like he's got such a high ceiling that it makes it really difficult to move him.
I don't want to lose.
tell you what, Ruben,
I personally would move him if it got me what I needed.
And I want to mention this
with
too.
Control.
Yes. Ruben, you mentioned the other day the idea of Schwarber moving left field. And of course, reading some comments on, no way, they can't do that again. Schwarber and left, no way. Schwarber and left, Castellanos and right. Talking to people last couple of days, people in the organization think that wouldn't be such a bad thing, that Schwarber could be a better defender than he was in 22. By the way, they went to the World Series in 2022 with Schwarber and Castellanos playing on the corners. I'm not saying it'd be a great defensive outfield, but
No.
You take adding a bat like Suarez, does that make up for what you're going to lose defensively in left field, because you're not getting much like tremendous defense in left field? Just wanted to mention that
At the end of the game, you're going to have Rojas in center and Marsh in left anyway, if they're winning the game. I mean, you can lose the game prior to that. You can lose the game prior to that with that outfield, but that's what's going to end up happening anyway late in the game.
It's a real possibility. Schwarber to left field is
especially if you get this, you got to get that.
Well, that's how the only way it would happen, and it's a real possibility. Yeah,
the Phillies are not afraid of that idea. Let's just say that.
And let me just say this: what is a better scenario is to put the first baseman in left field.
Yeah. Think they'd do that midstream?
I don't think that they would, but athletically, I actually, with all due respect to Kyle Schwarber, and he's, he'll do anything for the team. I just feel athletically, you'll have more coverage. You'll have a better athlete out there in left. He's taken to first base in 2 seconds. I mean, he's been great at first base after being a right fielder. He's played center. He's played other positions. I mean, I just feel like just overall, I don't think that they'll ask him to do that, but for me, looking at it as a ex-GM and an ex-coach and someone who evaluates, it would be great to have the first baseman go to left field.
Yeah.
Just saying.
A lot of fun. I mean, this is going to be a fun week. Check your tweet notifications.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be great.
Probably more fun, Ruben, as you said the other day, more fun on your side when you were doing it, making the texts, sending the texts, making the calls.
Man, there's nothing like it. It is the best because you get everybody together and you're meeting, you're talking kids, you're talking, Latin American kids who way down there. You're talking about all types of talent, who you should move. You're talking about the future of your franchise. There's so many cool things to talk about.
Did you guys order out for hoagies and stuff when you were in the war room?
Don't remember.
I can see a nice charcuterie board, maybe.
You gotta
I didn't even know what a charcuterie board was back then.
Back where I'm from, they call it a vegetable tray. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Charcuterie board. You know what I mean?
In Milwaukee, they call it a vegetable tray.
Yeah, it's a vegetable tray. Now
I think charcuterie is charcuterie with the meat, or is that
meat? Charcuterie with meat.
Yeah. You have to have some encased meat.
Yeah,
encased.
Throw a little Oscar Mayer bologna on there,
Yeah, a little bologna.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Ruben, are you old enough to remember the Oscar Mayer commercial?
What are you crazy?
I can
what kind of questions that? I'm 60 years old.
I can still sing that.
Are you old enough?
So can I.
Go.
And the wiener traveling across.
Yeah, I can sing it. I know that.
My baloney has a
If
first
you
name.
want an Oscar Mayer wiener. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the kid. My
baloney
baloney has a first name.
My baloney has a first name?
OSCAR. Yeah, of course.
My baloney
Okay,
has a second name. Yeah, come on.
Jim, we're all
Tighten it up,
old.
Jim. We're 100 years old.
Okay.
All right, guys, we will be back. I think we're gonna be back on Thursday. Well, we'll be back later this week. So check us out later this week. We will be back with more hot Phillies talk.
Smell you later.
Smell you, Jim.
The Philly Show is brought to you by the Foul Territory Network. Subscribe to The Philly Show on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. If you like us, give us a review. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, X, Facebook, and Threads. Find Ruben's analysis before, during, and after Phillies games on NBC Sports Philadelphia, on the Sports Radio 94 WIP Morning Show, and MLB Network. Find Jim at allphly.com. Find me at MLB.com, the Phillies Beat newsletter, and MLB Network.